Sure, getting to Harmony Dispensary, the newest legal medical marijuana grow-op in New Jersey, may feel a little bit like the opening of The Sopranos. But once you find your way to this tranquil industrial park about a mile from the Secaucus train station, you'll find a whole new world where the age-old drug cannabis is being transformed into modern medicine.
We have 8 strains: Girl Scout cookies, Larry OG, Strawberry OG, Boss Hog, and everything is labeled with their testing results from the state, so it's THC, CBD, and sativa indica ratios.
Shaya Broadchandel is Harmony's CEO.
I think it's very different than what people might think. When they come into Harmony, first thing they're welcome with this light, sterile, clean environment.
A little modern, a little cool, and yet neutral, easy. Place that anybody would be happy to pass through, pick something up, and get on their way.
It's more like a pharmacy, the cleanliness, the focus on our products and the effect of them. Very uplifting, very friendly. It's quite the opposite of what many people would expect in a medical dispensary.
By far, the most unexpected part of Harmony is something that few people will ever see in person. Its astonishing high-tech backroom grow-op. The decontamination protocols show just how seriously Harmony takes their mission.
We have to have pure, clean medicine. There's a lot of issues in this industry with mold, with powdery mildews, with mites, with other things that are concern, pesticides that are really dangerous. And our first thing is on purity. Then we have the consistency, that we are very, very focused on producing consistent batches of medicine, that you're getting time and again the same consistency. So here we have our mother room. It starts with the mothers which hold the genetics. We have 13 strains that we're growing now. We grow through a hydroponic system, so it starts in these rockwool cubes, and they grow all the way. We harvest them every day. We clone every day from them. And we take them from here and put them into our clone room. We just cut fresh clippings, and we put them into rockwool cubes, and we tag every single clipping. We track it from seed to sale through our barcodes right here. It'll tell you what plant it is, where it came from, and where it goes throughout the whole system.
When they leave the clone room, the plants move to the veg room, where they'll spend the next 2 weeks moving through a carefully programmed routine, where every station is perfectly calibrated for each stage of the plant's life cycle.
What lighting they get throughout their growth in the veg. At this point, they're just growing tall. They're not flowering. Again, it's in 18 hours that the lights are on. And then once they're finished this cycle, they go out for flowering in the other room. We have a 90-second air exchange in this room. Keeps the air flowing, no stagnant air, so not to build up any condensation or any areas that could potentially be hazardous mold. We also have a dehumidification system that runs all the air through a brine solution and sterilizes all the air, kills the bacteria and sends it dry and clean. So a lot of measures of control for the environment to make sure that this plant that would grow really anywhere, like a weed, grows as medical cannabis. And that's one of the things that you can see literally all the technologies that we incorporated into this.
In the 5 years it took Harmony to build and finally get permission to open their dispensary, attitudes toward cannabis in New Jersey have changed dramatically. The state just put a hold on all future marijuana prosecutions, and the hope is a law legalizing cannabis will pass as early as this fall. But at Harmony, they're keeping their focus on what's growing right in front of them.
We see the opportunities from a business perspective for us in the medical field and are less jazzed up about what happens when it goes recreational, which is what creates all the chatter.
This is not something that has zero medicinal values. It has tremendous medicinal values. It's so much on the contrary that, people should really think about it for a second.
It's just helping people. This is not a crutch for people. This is not a drug as per se as people like to claim it out to be. This is helping people with cancer. This is helping people with terminal ill diseases that are able to eat now. This is helping somebody like myself who's a very open-minded, positive person that wasn't for a little while because my pain in my life was taking me down to a point of depression. This helps me get out of that.
To tell you the truth, I really didn't believe in any of this stuff. I didn't even want to try it until my daughter come up and say, why don't you try it? So I did try it. Then all of my kids made fun of me,
Right.
saying that I tried it. But that was the best thing I ever did.
I spoke to my cardiologist and my rheumatologist, and they both told me stories about patients that were doing it, although they couldn't prescribe it yet. And they said it's really working wonders. Maybe not for everyone, but the people who they know are off a lot of their meds, which is really the goal you want. Because as you get older, they'll give you a pill for anything.
Please be open-minded to the fact that there's a reason so many people do this. It's not just to party and be silly.
Back in the grow-op, the mature plants, after 2 weeks circulating around the flowering room and at the absolute peak of potency, are brought down to Harmony's own personal chopping block.
This is our harvest. Table comes out of here, right onto the side. We're just getting ready to harvest the plants.
The buds are wet trimmed and then locked away in darkness for 2 weeks to dry, before making their way to the final step in the process.
So here we have our curing room, which is filled with our cannabis sitting and curing. So this is a Larry OG that was brought in here June 20th. So it's been curing here for a few days, 8 days right now in the curing room. And the smell is delicious. It's different than the drying room, and it sits here in these bins, sort of bringing out the terpenes and the smells finally before we send it in for packaging. It's a very important part of the process. People don't realize, but the drying and curing is very important to the quality of the product at the end. That's how you finish it. It's that final touch.
When they're ready, the buds are trimmed again, then weighed and packaged before making their way onto the dispensary floor.
I think there are several reasons to come to Harmony. One is the quality of our product. I think it's unsurpassed and only getting better. And the other is our process of being convenient and efficient makes it a little more normal. Swing by, pick something up, not a big complicated fuss around buying a wellness product.
We have big ambitions to create different dosing medicines, bringing different institutions in for research, participating in the New Jersey community and other communities nationally and internationally to really bring out and highlight the wonderful therapies of this plant. It's exciting, it's challenging, and at the end of the day, the biggest reward is that the satisfaction one gets from helping an entire community by providing them access to medicine which otherwise they wouldn't have.